I, female 30, kicked my husband, 28, out of my house. It was my house before our marriage, and it remains my house now. I knew when I married him that he was bi. I was okay with it, as long as he understood we were monogamous. I said that I would never agree to an open relationship, and that he needed to be with someone else if that was what he wanted. He agreed and said that I was the person he wanted to be with, and that I was more than enough to make him happy. He lied. I found out he was having an affair with a man. I went through his iPad and took all the pictures for myself. They were anatomical in detail. When I confronted him, he became physically aggressive. I was scared. He calmed down when I got Siri to call 911. He left. Anyway, I never wanted him in my house again. When he wanted his things, I asked him to make a list and send it to me. I found every single thing on the list. I asked him where to send the box. He said he'd pick it up. I told him that I would not let him set foot in my house, and that I'd call the cops if he tried. He said he'd send friends to get his stuff. I said I would leave his box of crap with the front desk at my work. He didn't want to make them drive into the city. We compromised, and I agreed to give his parents a temporary code for my house. They're lovely people, and I trusted them. I could see everything on my security system, and I would know if he tried getting into my house. The deal was that they would use the code, get the box from the front entrance, and then close and lock the door. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Instead, it went difficult lemon screwed. I guess he didn't have everything on his list. He asked them to get something from my bedroom. Not the deal at all. I had my pictures of his infidelity in my room, in my chest of drawers, in an envelope. So to reiterate, to find these pictures, his mom had to go past our agreed limit into my house. She then had to enter my bedroom, open my chest of drawers, open an envelope, and look at what was inside. I felt violated watching the video. Then I giggled like a little kid. It was hilarious. I see them come into the house. They use the code and open the door. His dad comes in and grabs the box. He goes back to their vehicle with the box. His mom hesitates before walking into my house and going into my room. She goes to my chest, opens the top drawer, where we keep a box full of jewelry. She sees an envelope with his name on it. She looks around, I'm not sure why. Then she looks at the contents. She screams. I assume since I have my feed on video only. Then she stuffs the pictures back in, closes the drawer, and runs for the truck. My father-in-law comes to the door, locks it, and leaves. I guess he never told his parents about his proclivities. To say that this has created a problem for him is to take it lightly. I get a call from him. He says I left the pictures out for his parents to find. I did not. I should have scattered them on the box his parents picked up, but that felt cruel and unnecessary. Like I said, I've always found them to be lovely people. I told him where the pictures were. He said he forgot about a ring, so he left it off the list and told his mom where it should be. I said I would have tossed it in the box if he'd told me. He said he forgot until they were on their way. He's upset that his parents know he's bi. He's not happy at their house now, and he's going to find somewhere else to stay. He said I'm an idiot for causing this problem. There are other candidates for idiothood. Him for cheating. Him for getting his parents to go against our agreement. His mom for going against our agreement. His mom for snooping. His parents for phobia. Not the idiot. His mother snooped around and found out. The universe clearly has a sense of humor, and if they hadn't poked their noses where they didn't belong, they never would have known. That's 100% on them snooping where they knew they weren't allowed. It reminds me of the proverb, if you don't want people to know it, don't do it. And definitely don't take pictures of it. How dumb can you be? What kind of moron takes photos of their affair? Call this natural selection. And it's not OP's fault that they discovered evidence of his infidelity. However, why would the snooping mom think that the ring would be in an envelope? The pics were in the envelope in a drawer in your bedroom, hardly left out for them to see. You agreed that they would come in, grab the box, and leave. She broke that agreement by going past the entrance, let alone into your bedroom and into your drawers, then opening an envelope that was clearly not the extra thing her son asked her to get. Unless rings suddenly look like envelopes. OP does say that the ex's name was on the envelope. I get why she snooped. She probably thought it was something relevant to the divorce. To be fair, she wasn't wrong. Play silly games and win silly prizes. It's incredible how disrespecting someone's privacy can lead to such an eye-opening revelation. And honestly, if the photos are evidence of your divorce, it was his mistake to let someone pry into that Pandora's box. As for your ex, well, he danced with deceit and got served by truth. The irony is almost poetic. As for your communication with his parents post-incident, it's not your circus or monkeys anymore. Let karma do its thing. Let karma do its thing and keep moving forward with your head held high. I have 3 sons, and they're all married. I have 3 daughters-in-law, and I get along well with 2 of them. I do not get along with Holly. I find her to be a two-faced witch. I'm not going to hide that I don't like her. The reason I think this is because she'll talk crap about people behind their backs. She's done it with the other daughters-in-law and with me. One example I can think of was during their wedding. I gave the couple a Le Creuset small set because they wanted a good cooking equivalent. Later, I heard her saying it wasn't the color she wanted and that I was cheap for getting the small set. She does this often. You try to do something nice for her, and then she complains about you. It could be anything that isn't up to her standards. I've distanced myself from her, and I don't like interacting with her at all. I'm okay with not being close to her at all. I have a summer home, and I allowed my other daughters-in-law to hold events up there. I got a call from my son and daughter-in-law asking to use it for their baby shower. I told them no. This started an argument about me not treating them like the other family members, and me pointing out that the other family members are not two-faced idiots. They called me a jerk, and the family is split. Some think I'm being too harsh, and others think it's deserved. Edit. Here are some more examples. My eldest daughter-in-law had a housewarming party. After it, Holly told everyone that her taste was crap and tacky. At the oldest grandkid's birthday, Holly told how the oldest daughter-in-law looked like crap, couldn't lose the baby weight, and was a bad parent. My youngest daughter-in-law is a big reader. She had dinner at their place. Holly comments about all her books and implies that books are her only friends. She's made a lot of comments about her clothes. The biggest one was at their wedding. Holly made a comment that the bride should be wearing red since she looks like crap in white. For people who don't know, saying a bride should wear red is calling her a whore. Another one was when I was hosting Easter and she went after all my cooking. She has attacked my clothes multiple times, saying I'm too old to dress like I do, but I mostly wear jeans. These are just the ones I've heard from her mouth. There have been more, but I heard that secondhand. Not the idiot. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth is a common phrase for a reason. You can't trash and bash people and then expect them to accommodate your needs. From your examples, it seems like she mainly attacks other women. Is she very friendly with the men in the family? Like, in a way that she wants to be perceived as the number one female, and that could be the reason behind her behavior, even though it's a garbage reason. Either way, your daughter-in-law sounds like a capital B, and your son should have shut down these comments long ago, but he didn't. So now he doesn't get access to the summer house. Oh well. You seem fine with a restricted relationship with both, so go enjoy your other daughters-in-law. OP in a few years. But why do they never let me see my grandkids? You are the idiot. If you don't want to allow the use of your property for the shower, you're allowed to say no. But before you do, and close your door on your relationship with this part of your family, you could try to reach an understanding with her. You don't have to like her, but maybe there's a reason she's so awful. Maybe she's not as awful as you think. At the end of the day, who you marry impacts your relationship with others. While OP may love her son and would love to know her non-existent grandkids, she doesn't have to also sacrifice self-respect and her own mental health. The moral of the story is that there's no obligation to have a close, loving relationship with everyone someone in your family marries. You don't even have to have that with your blood relatives. Relationships are formed based on how you treat people and how you're perceived. I, 29 male, and my ex-fiancé, 29 female, were together for 5 years. We should have been married now in normal conditions, but I broke up with her and canceled the wedding 2 days before it because they invited male strippers to the bachelorette parties. I'm not a fan of these parties, but I reluctantly agreed after both the groom and bride sides confirmed we keep it simple. I told my ex-fiancé, I'm not comfortable with strippers or any other kinds of crazy things. She agreed. I also told my friends if they were doing a stupid thing without me knowing, we would have problems. We stayed at my friend's summer house and chilled there by the pool, doing some World of Warcraft raids and playing board games. My ex-fiancée and her friends went to a restaurant and then rented an Airbnb. There was no problem during the night, and the next day, I asked how things went. She and her close friends said it was really chill and good. We returned to the city center after that. I encountered another bridesmaid that day while shopping for a bracelet for my ex-fiancé's upcoming birthday. I asked that girl how's everything, as we were in the same department at the college, but rarely talk now. She's closer with my fiancé than me. She said it's going well and last night was crazy with all the boys. After saying that, she looked uncomfortable. I asked her about the details, but she wasn't willing to tell me much. I think she realized she shouldn't have talked about it. I laughed, said goodbye, and left. I confronted my fiancé, and she seemed surprised about it. She denied it first, then told me nothing crazy happened, and one of the bridesmaids invited strippers. I reminded her that it was a strict boundary for me. I asked about the details, but she said there was nothing much, just solo dances and that's it. I told her I needed some time to think. Almost all the bridesmaids messaged me, ensuring nothing happened when I was returning home. Definitely not coordinated. Things happened after that, but in the end, I decided to break up and cancel the wedding. I lost some money since it was only 2 days before the wedding. Things are not cool right now. My head is messed up. I get criticism from everyone and no idea about what to do. My sister told me to see a therapist to process my thoughts and feelings. That is what I'll do next. Some mutuals suggested that I reconsider things and stop being so whiny about such a small thing. I do not think it's such a small thing, especially when they all tried to hide it from me. Am I the idiot here? A bachelor party of World of Warcraft raids and board games? You sound like fun. Breaking up with your soon-to-be wife because one of her friends brought dancers seems insane. What are you so insecure about? You're punishing her because she didn't leave her bachelorette party? You are the idiot. You don't even seem to know if she cheated. They're hiding it from you because of how fragile you are. Boo-hoo, she saw another man naked. Get some confidence before you go into another relationship. Feels like your ex probably dodged a bullet. Your own bachelor party was boring. I disagree, not the idiot. It was crazy with all the boys is hugely different from it was really chill and good. That isn't just lying, it's a total reversal of the truth. Even her, it was just solo dances, is not the same as crazy. So they're lying, all of them, except the first one. Exactly, this. It comes down to the lies. Also, her friends lied. One told the truth but knew they messed up and weren't forthcoming with information. It just makes you wonder what, if anything, they would lie about to cover up in the future. You told her it was a boundary, and they stumped on it. I, 20 male, have been working since I was 14. I grew up very poor and watched my dad work 2 jobs to make ends meet. My first job was at Publix, working 15 to 20, maybe 25 hours a week. But my dad made sure I saved all my money, unless I wanted a new video game or a pair of shoes. But he still wouldn't let me splurge like I wanted. He paid for all my food and phone bills until he passed away when I was 16. I started working at a restaurant, and the manager gave me a lot of hours. I'd clock in at 9 a.m. as a prep cook, and then at 4 p.m. as a busser. I would clock out at 11 to 12 p.m. I was making at least $800 a week during the summer as a 16-year-old. It was great. I saved up about $3,000 that whole summer. Then when I'd leave school, I'd clock in from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. and work the rest of my shift under the table. I saved up at least $5,000 through the whole school year. I was always frugal with my money and never cared for nicer clothes. I still dress nice but have no desire to wear designer clothes. Well, now that I've worked full-time for the past 2 to 3 years, I have roughly $30,000 more or less. I started dating my girlfriend 2 years ago, and I always say I'm broke when I have less than $500 in my checking account. I'm not necessarily saving up for anything because I live with my sister, and she only makes me pay the light bill and my phone plan and the stuff that I want. My girlfriend isn't as good with money management as I am. Whenever she gets sad, she likes to do retail therapy. I've never understood why, but her parents spoiled her growing up, so I figure that plays a part. Oh well, everyone has their own ways of dealing with sadness, and that's hers. Well, she asked if I could send her about $200 to $300 for something. I won't disclose what, and I told her to send it through my bank. I didn't think she'd go through my whole bank app and click on my savings, but she saw I had $2,500 in my checking and went to my savings. She came to me and showed me my phone and was like, "We're rich? You must have been selling drugs or something. Ha ha." I did find it funny, but I tried to tell her easily that we're not spending that. And then she thought about it, looked at the transactions over the years, added it all up, and was like, "You never mentioned anything about this account." I said, "Because that money isn't wealth. It's a savings in case anything bad happens." Now, I will say I'm not stingy with my money. I just don't spend money on things I don't need. I still take my girlfriend to eat every week and buy her flowers. I ensure she feels her worth, which is more than the money I have saved. We just look at money differently. If anything were to ever happen to her, I'd obviously care for her and take the money out of the account for her. But she started talking about how she doesn't need to work if I had that type of money. Once again, I explained that money isn't wealth, and $30,000 can be gone in the blink of an eye. She wasn't having it. I told her we could start a savings account together, strictly for trips, activities, etc. She said I already had the money for that. I responded, "That's why I didn't mention this money to you. You'd want to spend it all in a month." She broke down crying, saying I didn't trust or love her. I plan on marrying this woman and love her to death, but I don't want to jeopardize something I worked years on to save and be comfortable financially. I don't use credit cards or anything yet, and I'm in no debt. I do see where she's coming from, and I could see where I'm in the wrong by not disclosing this with her, but I knew I'd have to start from ground zero again. Am I the idiot for not telling my girlfriend about my savings? Not the idiot, but I'll be honest, OP, she's still pretty immature and clearly has no concept of the value of money. I know you say you want to marry this girl, but bro, you're 20 years old. There's a big world out there to explore. If this is her stance on money, and she refuses to educate herself on the value of money, I wouldn't be letting her leech your hard work away. $30,000 is not a lot of money, and you certainly aren't rich. I don't know where you live, but in my city, that would be an 8-month cushion if tragedy strikes. OP, she's only your girlfriend. You shouldn't be disclosing all your assets. But the fact is, you've learned that she should not be the one to handle savings and so on. She doesn't understand money at all. I would be concerned about the part that she felt like it was acceptable behavior to go through and snoop through your savings, etc. That alone is a red flag. Second, she isn't even your wife. So why does she think we, as in that it's her money, when she says we're rich? The next step will be sending herself money when she deems it justifiable. I've never heard more of a red flag than we're rich. No, honey, that's nowhere near rich and not your money whatsoever.